Hey everybody, Tracy Brown here, and I'm glad to be with you this morning. And I posted above, actually below this video, basically a little infographic called Try It Thursday. And I'm just playing around with some different things so you guys can see what I play around with, what you like, what you don't like. I would love to see your thoughts about, like, how do you feel about infographics, announcing something. I know it seems silly, but the more we can practice those kind of like, how does this feel to me? You know, maybe as someone who's receiving info, the more you get to practice in your own practice of like playing with some things, asking for opinions, feedback, those kind of things, and you learn a ton. So part of why I'm doing this group is not only to, give you access to, in-depth counseling skills and to like higher levels of it with some of my paid programs, but, to just see what I'm doing and experimenting with and practicing with and what you guys like and what you don't like. And that's actually what it's like to be run a practice. So a lot of you here are experienced with that. Some of you aren't. I'm not going to say that I'm like decades experience with like running I can do a private practice, but to actually, be online, really interacting with people and experimenting and not fully knowing what honestly is going to work and what's not is kind of part of the game. And so I just wanted to encourage you all to like try stuff and mess around, and not mess around with that on purpose, but like, this kind of feels fun to me, I'm gonna do it, and doing it from a place of like, how does this serve, how does this help, this is good information, and not just posting to post. So anyway, I'm kind of off topic, but I just wanted to share another, I guess, a little business little tip there. But anyway, what I want to talk about, and I guess this video won't be too long with the actual try it, is I don't know how many of you have ever done this, but I highly encourage you to do it. So when you ask your clients to do it in the right circumstance, then you'll know the potential help that it could bring. So what this means is, have you ever written a letter to your body? And probably lots of you heard that. But I think it's really vital because in diet culture, we get very disembodied from ourselves. Sometimes we don't see ourselves the way we actually look. It doesn't even have to be like extreme dysmorphia. It really could just be like, oh, I don't really pay much attention to myself, so I don't even really know what I look like. And that's very, very common for our clients, regardless of size. And so I think it's really important for our clients to be able to have a relationship with their bodies, and that's a body image improver. They might not like what they feel or see at the beginning of these exercises, but eventually it helps them grow into some acceptance and some appreciation, and eventually I think love. But for now, remember, we're not ever trying to get people to love their bodies. My first goal with people is, can we hate a little less? And I think it's certainly doable for everybody to move into appreciation, at peace, appreciation, and then eventually love. And it kind of takes on a whole other octave of what usually if that person's in, like, really in that place of like liking their body, the whole life looks different, so, but that's what we can really inspire our clients towards. So anyway, writing that letter, and I think it really needs to be geared toward where they're at in their journey, because they might not be at like, I can write a kind letter to my body, like about what I love about or like about or appreciate, but maybe they can just either pick a body area part, or they could pick kind of, can we just have a truce letter or a apology letter? So I wrote down a couple notes for you guys to think about. It can be a letter of apology, a letter of love, a letter of truce. Whatever feels like it matches their situation is what's the most important for you to suggest. And you're not going to know exactly in that moment until you do it. So that's what I would suggest you do. And if you've never done that for yourself, I encourage you to do it as well. And some things will really come up around maybe the places you neglect yourself a little bit, or push yourself too hard, or really maybe it's just a love fest, which would be awesome if you're at that place. And if not, no big deal. It's just like, oh, this is where I'm at and I want to improve that. And if you're having those experiences, likely your clients will too. So anyway, I hope this quick video was helpful about how to, what you can do. The how would be around, somebody's just really struggling with, I know dieting's the bad idea. I'm not going to do it because this is usually when you can use this exercise. I know it's a bad idea, but I just can't be okay with this body. I just can't. And that's what I might ask. Well, what is it you feel like with your body you can't be at truce with? Because this is the body you have right now. And I'm wondering how it's feeling about you saying you can't be okay with it. And they'll think like, what? What are you talking about? That's so weird. And I would say, yeah, I know it's kind of weird, but I wonder what you criticize your belly a lot. I wonder how it feels about all this. Now, again, one side note is that you can do this stuff in session with clients too. Like literally I've had help clients have conversations with body parts and see what they say. Sometimes they say nothing. And sometimes because it's, so provocative in the moment that a client may be not wanting to talk with you about it, but they would go home. And this is probably more people who maybe are more introverted, maybe need more time to just sit and process and be. And again, you can leave plenty of space in a session to do that with them. Or it could be they feel better going home with their notebook and pen and writing. And so encourage that. Like, you don't have to do it here. I'd be happy to do it with you now, but if this would feel better in your own space, to just sit and be with your stomach or your hips or your thighs, or maybe it's an organ like my uterus, or I'm mad at my thyroid or whatever it is. So I think it's really important to give them that suggestion and let them know how it might be helpful. And so if you do it, it's going to be easier to come straight from your own experience and your own heart, how it could be helpful. Not just us saying it's helpful, but we've never experienced it. I think that's really important. So anyhow, I hope you all have a great day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, hopefully, in Q&A Friday. And let me look at my schedule and tell you when I'm going to do it. Tomorrow, actually, I've got working on somatic course tomorrow, so I'm super, super excited. This is still slated for 2019 in the first quarter, so just got to keep working on it, and that'll be available to us to jump into. But anyway, tomorrow, I think we will do our Q&A at, let's do it noon, 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, I know this is lunchtime for people, hopefully on the East Coast. And maybe your day's kind of getting going on the West Coast, and I will be there. So 12 o'clock, our live Q&A for professionals. This was a body image kind of week, just dip it into like one little bit topic here or there. So let's bring your body image questions if possible. We can do other clinical stuff or other counseling skills stuff maybe next week. And just to let you know a little bit, we're going to talk a lot about the power of acceptance in our business and with our body. So it's a little continuation of this week, but I'm going to go into some business stuff with you all next week too, whether you're working in agencies, in somebody else's practice, still have a 9-to-5. You're not really in a counseling style business, but we all are trying to figure this whole thing out. So anyway, I loved it. So think about that next week for your questions. Tomorrow, I would love to get your straight up body image questions and in the Q&A, because last week's was really good. Shout out to Caroline for keeping that ball rolling with that. And we'll just keep going from there. So thank you all so much. You all know that if you can share that you are getting value from this group, I'd love for that to happen, because the more people who watch these videos are going to get maybe some little tidbits of ideas to do in their sessions, or do with your own family, or do with your own personal work with. And so, sharing is caring. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all tomorrow live at 12 p.m. Eastern. Bye.